I have home theater and office build series starting in the near future, so hit the bell icon if you want to be notified when those videos start uploading. Today, we are going to be taking a look at Dishonored 2 on the Potato Masher Pro and Xbox One X. I already tested Dishonored 2 a while ago on both the Masher and Masher Pro, but now the game has received an Xbox One X enhancement patch and I have a proper 4K recorder for the Masher Pro, so I thought I should check it out again. If you like my videos, consider supporting me on Patreon, and let's get to it. You might be asking, what's the Potato Masher Pro? Well, ignoring the cryptocurrency pricing rollercoaster we've been on for the past 8 months or so, the Masher Pro is a PC that you can build for about $450 that is comparable to the Xbox One X. That means decent 4K performance in most games and usually superior 1080p performance compared to the best console currently on the market. I have an Xbox One X and I love it, so this isn't a video meant to knock the console. It's very impressive for what it is, but if you didn't know what's possible with a budget PC, keep watching. So, Dishonored 2 has the rare combination of a slightly cartoonish art style and a lot of fine detail that grabs you the more you look. This means that you can have a great experience even at lower visual settings, and you're in for a treat if you can run the game maxed out. However, when it first released, Dishonored 2 was very buggy and was far from a smooth experience on any platform, which you might remember if you saw the videos I did on it closer to its release. It has improved quite a bit, and it has also dropped in price, so it's easy to recommend as a fun, action stealth game with a beautiful art style. The Xbox One X enhancement patch promises up to 4K resolution with some dynamic resolution scaling, enhanced textures, and the like. The PC version of the game has received stability patches, but no accompanying graphical enhancement patch. As is typically the case with PC games, the quality settings are the built-in future-proofing. Once you max them out, you generally need to turn to mods to enhance the visuals farther. At 4K with dynamic resolution scaling enabled and the medium preset, the Masher Pro does a very respectable job at 30 FPS. The CPU isn't stressed, RAM and VRAM usage are fine, and the GPU is rarely close to maxed out. In other words, this is a good, easy, native 4K experience. But how does medium compare to the Xbox One X? In most ways, they're very close. Both platforms have similar texture and models quality. They seem to have similar lighting quality as well, although I did spot some differences in some scenes. Neither seem to have an advantage, just differing levels of bloom lighting and god rays depending on the situation. I believe that's just dynamic lighting differences and the platforms are equal, but I'd welcome any information that I don't have. If anything seemed consistently better, the Xbox One X may have more bloom lighting in more situations. The biggest difference is in shadows and ambient occlusion. As is often the case with console games that need to trim settings to stabilize the frame rate, ambient occlusion has a large impact and is a good way to free up a few frames. However, when compared to the PC version, the Xbox's objects feel less grounded in the world and everything is a bit flatter. That's not the end of the world, of course, but the Masher Pro definitely looks better. Beyond that, draw distances and overall sharpness are comparable. There could be slight differences depending on what each platform's resolution scaling is doing at any given moment, but both platforms at least look like they're delivering native 4K in most situations. I'd absolutely say this is a good 4K gaming experience. However, this is an action game, and to many people, action games are better at 60 FPS, so what can the Masher do? Well, at 1080p and high settings, the Masher Pro can't lock at a perfect 60 FPS. While the Masher Pro now has a hyper-threaded quad-core, it's an early model that's really just a bit better than a regular quad-core and not comparable to a real octo-core. Even modern hyper-threaded processors aren't really monsters compared to their regular counterparts, so you can expect to see poor core scaling be an issue even if a game can technically access more threads with a hyper-threaded processor. This is also the case here. Dishonored 2 is heavy on 2 cores and lighter on the other 2, so when you scale that up to a hyper-threaded quad-core, that means it's really heavy on 4 and light on the other 4. I believe CPU usage is high enough that the frame rate can suffer at times, although it's usually in the high 50s and I never saw it drop into the 40s. It still feels really good. At 1440p and medium settings, the Masher Pro is a bit more stable. Here are a few comparisons so you can see how sharpness compares to the Xbox One X. The Masher Pro is obviously softer, as you'd expect with such a large resolution gap. The question is, does the added frame rate make up for it? That's a question without a definitive answer. For many people, the answer is yeah, of course. To others, native 4K's sharpness just can't be replaced by any frame rate. I'm playing the Masher Pro at 60 FPS next to the Xbox One X at 30, so you can make up your own mind about which experience is better. To me, Dishonored 2's art style scales well enough that I might honestly consider giving 1440p a chance if it meant getting to play at 60 FPS. What do you think? And yes, you can play at 4K in low settings and get a decent 60 FPS experience. Like I said, the game looks good even at lower settings. You'll have to deal with some crummy looking textures, but everything else isn't that bad. In my opinion, the Master Pro definitely wins this comparison. It looks as good or better than the Xbox One X and has the ability to game at 60 FPS. While the Xbox One X is hardly a slouch, the added customization and flexibility of the Master Pro makes it the superior platform for this game. A big thank you to everyone who supports me on Patreon. Check out the Potato Master Pro and the Xbox One X playing Far Cry 5 if you haven't already. Consider subscribing if you enjoyed the video, and let's continue the conversation down in the comments. Have a great day.